Chapter 15, Slander Mike, snatch those raw pieces of meat. That makes sense. This kind of raw meat is trashy, don't buy it. I just ate a piece of raw meat and was immediately poisoned to death. I'm respawning now. Don't buy it. I know Mike, he said it's a scam. Right. Don't buy it, everyone. Make sure Mike's raw meat can't be sold at all. On the World Channel, such voices rose and fell one after another. The impact far exceeded Trudio's expectations. There were actually so many people who were on his side. Trudio was proud of his powerful influential ability. If the crowd continues to believe what I said, Mike's raw meat will soon be taken off the shelves. HMPH. He deserves it. We simply guided the public's opinion. Are we geniuses? Har har. Everyone in Trudio's party looked at the voices who were attacking Mike in the chat channel with pride. Many people started questioning Mike. However, someone in Trudio's party opened the trade market and wanted to see how Mike's raw meat would rot in his hands and remain unsold. It would be best if Mike was directly taken off the shelves altogether. When he went in, he was instantly dumbfounded. 100 pieces of raw meat. They were all gone. Mike then put another 1,000 pieces of raw meat on the shelves. It was sold out at lightning speed once again. Wasn't the whole channel mad at Mike? Didn't they say they wouldn't buy raw meat? Where was all the raw meat going? He couldn't get it even if he had the money. What's going on? Why are the actions of the public different from what they are saying? This person was going out of his mind. His exclamation attracted the attention of Trudio and the others. Trudio had a bad feeling. He immediately opened the trade market. In an instant, Trudio's heart turned cold. Out of stock, stock. Out of stock. Pre-order, 21,360. Weren't they all slandering Mike? Why was it not only being sold short but also having pre-orders exceeding 20,000 pieces? Was Mike the only one who could gather all these materials? Aren't they all slandering Mike? Why do I feel like something is wrong? Trudio felt very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. It can't be. Each of them slandered Mike just to make others stop buying it, so that they can have more raw meat for themselves, right? It seems possible. I thought we were leading them to slander Mike, but it turns out that we were actually the fools. On the World Channel. I've already said that Mike's raw meat is poisonous, he's a liar. Don't you understand human language? There are 10 people who didn't even get a piece of raw meat, you bunch of animals. There are so many bastards, would it kill you not to eat meat? I'm looking for a piece of raw meat, I'll pay 35 iron ore for it. 40 iron ore for a piece of raw meat. Shut up, I'll buy a piece of raw meat for 200 iron ore. Who will give me a piece? Who is willing to send me a piece of raw meat? I want to explore. Wait, look at the trade market. Mike is selling 50 pieces of raw meat, and only colorless crystals can be used to trade. Another 1,000 pieces of raw meat are being sold for iron and copper ores, but the price has been raised to 100 ores per piece. Mike is selling another batch of raw meat. This time, the price is limited to people who are level 5 and below, only 1 iron or / copper ore needed. Is he helping the new players explore new territory? Sob, 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 I'm so touched. Public opinion exploded in all the major channels. Everyone was discussing this matter. At this moment, in the game's official forum, the top geniuses of mankind had gathered. They were also advancing in the game. In fact, they did not know about the game any more than the players. All they did was use some mysterious technology to create this virtual projection game to fight against exotic beasts. Therefore, they also needed to enter the game to explore more of their creation. Because they were the top geniuses of mankind, they were very efficient. But even such a group of people didn't understand why Mike's raw meat had such a magical effect. I forcefully bought 100 raw meat through the system, but I didn't find any problems. Although I'm still testing. It seems to be as described. How did Mike do it? I'm afraid his progress is much faster than ours. Mike, his progress alone has exceeded us even with our joint efforts. He's the real deal, right? He's scary. Should we contact him? No. We shouldn't get involved too much, especially with people like Mike. These kinds of powerful people have a weird temper. I suggest that we keep an eye on him. It might be counterproductive to contact him rashly. The popularity of the raw meat on the various channels far exceeded Mike's imagination. If only he knew it would be this popular. He did not expect that the moment raw meat was on the shelves, it would cause such a huge reaction. The materials he gained reached a point where they could not be used up. It was a pity that he did not get enough colorless crystals. But later on, as the players' attributes soared, they explored faster and faster. Especially when low-level players could buy cheap raw meat and explore directly, the probability of the colorless crystals appearing would change drastically. Finally, Mike had a large number of colorless crystals from the trades. Colorless crystal 171. It was getting better. These extremely rare materials were finally increasing. It's time to start building the array. Mike smiled faintly. The magic array definitely couldn't be built randomly. The higher the place, the easier and faster it was to gather the universe's energy. Mike placed his materials on a mountain top. Beginner magic array, construction in progress. The materials were successfully inserted. With Mike in the center, purple light emerged from under his feet and spread in all directions. The purple light became more and more dazzling as it expanded. After expanding to a certain scale, it stabilized. The purple light stopped expanding. Instead, it was solidifying and progressing into the embryonic stage. Once the embryonic stage had passed, it entered the formation stage. Beginner magic array successfully constructed. All the purple light dissipated and everything returned to normal. It looked like there were no changes to the mountain peak and that there was nothing special about it. However, the invisible magic array had already begun to automatically gather and refine the power of the universe. Mike could feel changes in the environment around him. He was getting more and more comfortable. The usage of skills also started to increase his experience. Coincidentally, there was an exotic beast passing by. Its level was very low, only level 16. As it approached, the invisible magic array exploded with purple light. Boom! 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 Under the attack of the purple light, the level 16 beast was instantly killed. Mike received a reward. Duck? Mike was dumbfounded. The array can even help me automatically clear the surrounding beasts. Doesn't that mean that I don't have to do anything but lie here and I'll get something out of it? The effects of the beginner magic array had exceeded Mike's expectations. It was awesome. The exotic beasts killed by the array can be directly harvested for raw meat. There's not even a need for me to collect them. Mike smiled. A level 20 exotic beast can produce 100 to 150 pieces of raw meat. Within the array, the purification speed is also faster. Before, I could only purify 1 piece of meat per second. Now, I can purify 10 pieces of meat per second. And it's even increasing the efficiency of the purification process. Everything was getting better and better. Everything was on the right track. Mike had just started to enjoy the comfortable environment within the array not long ago until he noticed that something was amiss. Overlord tier exotic beasts, have you realized that the egg has shattered? As Mike was at the top of the mountain, he could see his surrounding environments clearly. He saw that the trees around the spot where the egg had been shattered were swaying. A myriad of exotic beasts was in a frenzy, and among them were elite and boss tier exotic beasts. Chapter 16, The exotic beasts are restless. In the forest, the exotic beasts were restless, and Mike was watching from the top of the mountain. At this moment, a group of people were gathering on a mountain further away. At first, there were dozens of people, then hundreds of people, and eventually, there were more than 200 people. Each of them was above level 10. The person with the highest level was at level 25. The higher the level a person was, the harder it was to level up. Level 25 was the highest level among the group. The group couldn't see the restless forest, but they could vaguely hear it. Why did the boss go over there? The highest level and leader of the group was called Burton. He frowned. Not long ago, they had come to this area to hunt for higher-level exotic beasts. At that time, they had encountered a level 20 boss exotic beast, but the party had split up. Burton only had around 60 people with him. He didn't dare to touch the boss. After all, they had required teamwork of more than 50 people to barely defeat the elite exotic beast they had encountered before. The boss exotic beast was far more powerful than the elite exotic beast. 60 people attacking it together could be said to be courting death. He went back and called for his men. Burton, who had gathered all the people in his party, was ready to launch a general attack on the boss. However, as the people slowly gathered, the boss exotic beast left. He might have gone over to look for food, said the person beside him. That's good too. We'll set up an ambush in the boss lair. Burton nodded. He then spoke in the private channel. Everyone, pay attention. We're about to face a level 20 boss exotic beast. It's completely different from a normal level 20 exotic beast. Everyone, listen to the instructions carefully. Otherwise, our 200+ people might be wiped out. Boss. It's level 20. It was a level 10 boss before. Now I'm afraid. I'm so nervous. But fortunately, now that we have the raw meat that we grabbed from Mike, our attributes have increased tremendously. It would not be as scary as it was before. This was also the reason why Burton dared to fight a level 20 boss. It was all part of their plan. Everyone was generally at level 20. At least 10 people would have to break through to level 30 before they would go and fight a boss of this level. When Mike listed the raw meat, it had changed Burton's plan. Burton's entire party was trying their best to slander Mike and his raw meat, but at the same time, they were trying their best to buy the raw meat. They were buying second-hand raw meat at a high price, and once they considered that they had gathered more than enough meat, only then did they dare to fight a level 20 boss. After entering the boss's territory, Burton arranged their battle positions and waited for the boss to come back. Mike stood on the top of the mountain and watched the overlord exotic beasts go berserk for quite a while. Its subordinates were scattered in all directions. They wanted to take revenge on the one who broke the egg. They didn't know who had broken the overlord exotic beast egg, so they would kill whoever they saw. They would dig 3 feet into the ground and kill any suspicious targets they saw. They were ready to kill 1,000, even if it was a mistake, and not about to let a single person go. The exotic beasts went into a collective frenzy. It's only a matter of time before they find me here. Mike wasn't too far away from where the egg had been located. He would look for a way out near the magic array. Once the magic array was broken through, he would be in danger. Would he be able to flash away and leave from there? Fortunately, because there were more ways out at the top of the mountain, he wouldn't be trapped here to die. As expected, it didn't take long for some of the exotic beasts to reach the top of the mountain. There were a lot of them. However, there was a clear hierarchy. One could tell with a glance who was the leader of the exotic beasts. Exotic beasts elite. Overview: melee physical, range physical. Level 25. HP 5,500/5,500. Attack 400/400. Dual defense 310/310, 270/270. Agility 90/90. Skills: tentacles, supreme, berserk claws, advanced, bite, advanced, sprint, advance. Status: berserk. This is an elite tier exotic beast. It is in a berserk state, easily angered and explosive. It will attack any foreign life form it sees until it dies. It is good at long-range physical attacks. It will shoot tentacles out from its mouth, dealing extremely high damage, and entangle its opponent. If one has been entangled, the exotic beast would rush to close in on it and destroy the enemy with its sharp claws and bite. Threat: low. It was the leader of the exotic beasts. A horde of ordinary exotic beasts trailed behind it. The magic array was shapeless and colorless, so they couldn't see it. However, they could see Mike inside the array. The agitated exotic beasts were easily enraged, and as expected, they immediately opened their bloody mouths. Hiss. A tentacle shot out. The tentacle was covered with barbs, and a gentle touch from it would turn this into a bloody mess. Not to mention, it had the ability to bind. The group of other exotic beasts around the elite exotic beast also began to display their abilities. However, the magic array was one step ahead of Mike in reacting to these exotic beasts. The originally invisible and colorless magic array burst out with purple light, and every beam of light that shone on the exotic beasts caused damage. 662. 567. 477. 823. The purple light burned the skin of the exotic beasts, and the damage dealt continued to deepen. The purple light wasn't a one-wave attack, but a continuous wave of damage. Many weak exotic beasts couldn't hold on much longer. Boom! One by one, the ordinary exotic beasts exploded. Mike didn't even make a move. More than half of the exotic beasts had already been taken care of. It was only a matter of time before the other exotic beasts exploded. Only the elite exotic beast was more powerful and could hold on. 162. 219. 111. 296. Because the elite exotic beast had relatively high defense, the damage dealt on it was not much, making it difficult for it to die quickly. However, it was not a problem to restrict its movements. The tentacles that it spat out twisted under the purple light, turning from red to scorch. The elite exotic beast could only retract its tentacles and change its strategy by sprinting towards Mike to engage in close combat. For the time being, it was useful, but when the elite exotic beast reached the edge of the magic array, it could no longer move forward. After all, the magic array did have a ward effect. Using its sharp claws to desperately attack the array, it could not move an inch. Instead, the elite exotic beast's status became much graver. Then, the elite exotic beast turned around and ran away. It ran away. Isn't it in a berserk state until it dies? Mike questioned. He looked again. It was not a berserk state, and its status had turned into fear. You're changing your status too quickly. Mike could not help but complain. He formed a fireball and threw it out. Boom! 2152. Ignition. 702. 788. 692. An elite exotic beast that had only 5,500 HP and a lot of health chipped off by the magic array, turned into ashes from Mike's fireball. Experience gained, 2016. Experience gained, 2082. Experience gained, 10,125. The information about the experience kept flashing, but it did not drop any good items as Mike had hoped it would. They were all ordinary items. He checked his personal interface. Player, Mike. Level, 32. Equipment, level 10 purple staff, level 10 purple armor, level 10 blue pants. Skills, fireball, large fireball, flash, purification. Job, Midge. Experience, 7,221/150,000. Overall combat strength, 5,217. His initial combat strength was 5. Now, it had increased by more than 1,000 times. The main aspect of the increase in combat power should still be the silver class medal. That class's level had brought about a huge increase in attributes. Maybe I should take the initiative to attack instead of passively defending. Mike felt that the magic array should be used as a trump card. He should save it for later. Otherwise, when more and more exotic beasts gathered, the Overlord exotic beasts would start to come, and the magic array would really be destroyed. Mike still wanted to keep his magic array, despite it having a low cost of constructing it. Not bad. With this setup, we should be able to ambush the boss. For a while, Burton was preparing and now, he was very satisfied with his team. Assassin team, you guys go into stealth to see where the boss is and roughly when he'll be back. Remember, don't get too close, Burton ordered. Everyone was solemn. They knew that the unprecedented battle with the boss was getting closer and closer.